Welcome to Module 203G on HVAC rooftop units. Our next objective is to look at the different types of thermostats and controls that our makeup air and our rooftop units will require. The connections that we see on our thermostats and our units are fairly standardized. We'll have R for our power, W for our heating, Y for cooling, G for fan, and C for our common. We should be aware that some units will have an RC, which means power for my cooling system, and an RH, which is power for my heating system. These can be separated if I have a system that has two separate transformers for each type of control. We can also have two-stage heating and two-stage cooling, in which case we'd have W1 and W2 and Y1 and Y2 accordingly. The simplest type of thermostat that we have is a two-wire controller, and we would use this with a garage unit heater. There's only a call for heat and there's no fan switch. It is simply an R and W connection in order to engage the heating element. A step up from that is basic heating control that we'd find in simpler systems where we have our R for power, our W for heating, and our G for the fan. So in this system, we can run the fan independently or the fan will come on with the heating. Our next system is called the 5-wire thermostat, and this is for single-stage heating and cooling. So we have our R for power, W for heating, Y for cooling, G for fan. Sometimes we can have a common wire in here, which would be the additional wire. You'll see on the thermostat we have both RH and RC, and these are jumpered together. This is typical for most smaller units. However, if I had a unit with two separate transformers, I would need two separate wires, one for RH and one for RC. Lastly, we have our 7-wire thermostat, which is our most complex system. This is for two-stage heating and two-stage cooling. Once again, we have RH and RC, which may be separated depending on whether or not I have one or two transformers. Then I have W1 and W2. W1 would be for stage 1 heating, W2 would be for stage 2 heating, and Y1 and Y2 indicating stage 1 cooling and stage 2 cooling, and G being for my fan control. Remember that my two-stage heating will depend on how much heating demand there is and how far we are from the ideal temperature of the room, as well as the same thing will apply for the cooling. Some buildings that are large enough to incorporate multiple rooftop units might need to have an HVAC control system as well. Think of buildings such as Costco, where each HVAC unit would represent a different zone inside the building. The HVAC control system is an electronic system that will balance multiple different areas. Initially, they're rather expensive to install, but since they're more efficient to operate, the energy savings will offset the installation costs. The HVAC control system has inputs that monitor the building and the equipment status, and they will respond to environmental changes, such as if a room gets too cold or too hot. It also has outputs that will control the operation of the equipment and can include multiple HVAC units as well as zone dampers to direct the airflow. The control system will optimize the air mixing and the controls from multiple unit controllers, and the controllers are all linked together with an Ethernet cable to the main controller. The software inside the controller allows for an infinite configuration for operation. You have now reached the end of this objective. Review your module, complete the knowledge check, and then continue on to the next video.